Welcome everyone to the Pantheon. I am Ray.
And I'm Heavy. We are looking at Ant-Man and Wasp.
That's right. It is the I guess we call it's the bumper or the what's the term they say in wrestling when you have like the mid card that comes up before the main event?
Yeah,
Is that what it is? Yeah, something to help you like get you a comfort, like a false sense of low, and then until it bumps you up again to the big finale. Its records in terms of the box office reflected that kind of mentality, but it did really well because people wanted to see the connection to Endgame. Like, will this movie reveal something? Sorry, will this movie reveal something that we missed or we need to see before Endgame? That was because there was two films. There was this and Captain Marvel at the time. These were the two films to see before Endgame. And everyone I knew who was watching this, didn't give two heinies for this movie, but because it was put here as a bridge, if you will, everyone I knew wanted to see this, and those who saw the opening week just wanted to know how it connected. And then once people heard word of mouth, I guess sales or the box office kind of went down because people found out what the connection was. But its opening weekend, I think it did phenomenal. I don't know what the actual numbers were, but I know it did record numbers and compared to the first one. So just for you, where do you rank this movie in terms of the in terms of the tiering for Marvel?
I thought it was interesting,
Okay.
kind of funny. I laughed a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
Okay, so I'm a fan of Luis. Was his ability to rapid fire talk, and when he's giving like an explanation of how the heist is going to take place, and he narrates it, it's unbelievable. I was blown away how we had characters, syncing in with what he was saying, like the heist and how that was going to go, and how so they did that twice in the first Ant-Man, and they did twice in this second one here. And Louise is probably one of the biggest comic relief characters I think I've ever seen in the MCU. He's so radically different, and he's so optimistic and so positive, even though he's doing bad things, and he's got a really good main right hook, which I love about the character. Yeah, I think the heist it's a heist movie. It's like this is the Ocean's 11 for the MCU, when you get into a real big caper, and then this is kind of the fallout from Civil War, because you're wondering, well, what happened to Michael Douglas's character and his daughter? Like, what happens because they're associated with the superhero thing? They were outlaws too. They were on the run. In terms of wanting to see the end game dramatic build, that bridge, this wasn't going to give you what you wanted, but to have a breather, to have something funny, this was okay.
Okay.
And as a standalone, and if as a standalone, not knowing about the end game, it would have done pretty well. But marketing wise, it was smart because you had to go see it to catch the glimpse to the end game. And of course the ending, we'll get to that in a little bit, but in terms of like how they manipulated the quantum world and how the quantum world relates to where we're going to be going later on in the films or in the series, it was brilliant. I think I like Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet. So I thought it was okay. I thought it was fun. I think Paul Rudd is pure comic gold. I think when he did the writing in the first one, and a lot of it spilled over into this one, it was great. The character of Ghost was an interesting character, and we have Giant Man, is it Gigantic Man or Giant Man by Larry Fishburne. So that was pretty cool. Getting some cameo appearances from certain people were pretty cool in this one. And the FBI agent who we'll later on see in WandaVision was there. So you had certain characters that were kind of fun, and that card trick. So there were certain gimmicks and certain little key strokes that was watching again. I kind of picked up in the post aftermath of watching everything where we are until like now. After seeing WandaVision, after seeing Endgame.
Is this a film you would see over and over again?
Oh hell no. Oh no.
Okay.
But in honestly, this is the kind of film I would, if I had let's say I had a daughter or a young son or a little kid with me, this is the kind of movie you want to bring to the family, you know, because as an adult, you get something out of it, and as a child, you get something out of it too. And it's still a pretty high stakes, high functioning film, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the few MCU films that I wouldn't have any reservations in showing a cross mix of demographics.
Cool.
It is probably better than the original a little bit. I mean, there are certain things about it, like the whole part where he gets too big and kind of passes out the whole the water scene, the boat scene.
Okay.
I didn't care much for that particular sequence, but the car chase was kind of cool. The Pez was kind of fun. The science behind it, well, the way they try to make sense of the science is pretty cool. The building shrinking and falling is kind of nice. So it was cool, and it was all part of something that led to something more important down the road for us to understand. If you like, are you a fan of the Ocean's 12, Ocean's 11 kind of films?
Yeah.
So this was kind of like that. This was like their version of, like, whenever you need a heist, whenever you need something stolen, Scott Lang is the person you would go to, you know. And so that was his significance in the end game, and this was just highlighted his niche, what he contributes to the equation, you know, as a hero.
Okay, cool.
So in terms of the end game, the big picture, what did you get out of this?
It was funny.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of the old movie Ants. There were ants around. There were just wildlife, living in grass, from what I remember. You know,
Right.
It was, it just wildlife, kind of doing stuff in grass. It was interesting. It was kind of funny.
Okay.
You know, I thought it was cute, but I don't think I'd watch it again.
Okay, no, that's good. That's a pretty good honest assessment. I mean, for me, when I was watching it, the thing that it reminded me of, and it has nothing to do with the actual film, but it brought me back to a time, is when I used to watch Herbie the Love Bug. You know,
Okay.
especially the chase scene down in San Francisco. It was very much like Herbie the Love Bug. So, and again, goes back to the family experience. So that's what it kind of drew me to. The film has nothing to do with Herbie. The context of it has nothing to do with Herbie. It's just this, like, the feeling I got from it, like, just on an emotional level, on a connection with it. That's what it reminded me, it felt for me. Real love connection between fathers and daughters. You know, and I really, really enjoy. There's very few films that you can actually have. You can you can feel the emotional importance of that. So I really enjoyed the intimate parts and the fun parts. It's the innocence, and I think that's what really drew me to this.
Hey, it's all good, bro.
Okay. So with that, I'm Ray.
I'm Evie.
We'll talk to you later.